And I was reading the Declaration of Independence. And I read a bit of it today on my show. And I was looking down, because in the Declaration of Independence, one of the things that our founding fathers did was they listed the offenses of King George against the colonists. And I was reading through all these offenses, going into how he prohibited governors from making law, how he meddled in immigration. Oh yes, they had immigration issues, and they still expected everyone to come into the country legally. I'm looking down at all of this, and I realized there were about 9 or 10 of those offenses that are completely applicable to today with our current administration. And I'm looking at all of this, and I'm thinking, wow, if this goes on much longer, are we going to have another Declaration of Independence here? It was very sobering to look at all of this. And one of the most important things, and lastly, I think this is the most important job of this movement. I was looking at the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence, where it says that our rights come from our Creator, endowed to us by our Creator, certain unalienable rights. Something that is so important, and you can tie almost every problem we have in this country to this. The assault on Christian Judeo values. Everything else. I don't care what religion, belief system, whatever anybody is. Because America, albeit it was founded on Christian principles, is a loving, tolerant nation. You won't find that even in Great Britain anymore. Definitely not Canada. This is the last of the tolerant, industrialized nations. And it was very clear to me, and John Adams even said this in several different letters that he wrote. Thomas Jefferson had the separation of church and state, which he used in a letter to a group of Danbury Baptists. John Adams was writing to a different group of Baptists, and he was telling them how evident it was that this country was founded upon Christian principles. And it's never more evident than if you read the minutes which accompany the Constitution. If you read the drafts of the Constitution, there were several different drafts of this. And all of our founding fathers, they all got together and they would edit each other's work. And someone would scratch out someone else's work and put something in to make it more concise or more powerful. But throughout all those drafts, there was one thing that remained the same, and that was that our rights come from our Creator. And this is so unbelievably important. And I don't think that the majority of Americans quite honestly realize this. That when rights come from the divine, they cannot be tainted or misappropriated by man. The humanist attack on this premise is to undercut it and then subject people as slaves to the state. If they achieve their goal of removing the untaintable, the blessing of where our rights originate, then they can take our rights away, and we have no battle against them. There's no way. That's it. But this is something that in St. Louis we've been really, really trying to make evident. It's look at the Declaration of Independence. Look at the Constitution. There is a reason that it survived all of the edits, all of the different drafts. There's a reason that it is in there, and this is because if rights come from God, man cannot take them. I don't care what belief system you are. I don't care what religion you are. It's not preference of one particular denomination over another. It says this is a gift from God, whether you accept it or not. Regardless of what you believe, this is a gift from God. Believe it or not. Accept it or not. So that's something incredibly important that we've been doing, making sure that we change the hearts and the minds of the people and keep our tabs on the culture, and also remind people where the true power of our rights come from. The true principles upon which this country was founded. Because if that gets eroded, then it becomes that much easier to take away more of our rights. So we need to keep that in mind when we're going out there. Lastly, liberty isn't free, and I know one of the things that just going out every weekend, going out every night after work, whatever, however you guys are organized, I know that it's tough, but it is such a privilege, isn't it? To be able to know that you control your freedom and you can maintain it yourself, and that you're independent and you're resourceful and you can sustain yourself and you can work towards sustaining your country. It is such an unbelievable, wonderful privilege. And I always say that one of the reasons I was so attracted to political activism is because my family, so many men of my family served in the armed forces. My grandfather was a gunner on the USS Alabama over in the Pacific. My father's a Vietnam vet. I have uncles and cousins who've served in Afghanistan, Iraq, so many. And I felt as though I was dropping the ball if I did not get involved. They could go overseas and fight, but if I just sat here and didn't do anything at home, I didn't feel right. Liberty isn't free, and I know we realize that. And I also know that leaders lead. And that's something I look at every single person in this room, and you all, in my eyes, are leaders, because leaders step up when it's the least convenient for them. They speak out when really they're not quite sure whether or not anyone has their back, but they're motivated by a sense of what is right and what is wrong. And leaders step forward and they do that. And I've seen this movement grow. And I know Steve's done a fantastic job. Bill Hennessy, my co-founder in St. Louis, has done a fantastic job. And we have so much work to do, but I am so hopeful looking around this room. And I feel blessed to be here. I feel privileged to be here. And I just want to thank you all. Please keep doing what you are doing. Stay engaged. Because if we stick together and we speak the truth for our narrative and we keep at it, I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that we will have victory in 2010 and 2012. Thank you all so much.